Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Don Stewart, and welcome to another edition of Breaking News. Today is Thursday, the 7th day of November, 2024. And as always, we have a number of very important stories to bring to you that continue to set the stage for what the Bible says our world is going to look like at the time of the end of the age, before the second coming of Jesus Christ and the many events that will precede it. Now, today is one of those days where I had at least a dozen stories I could bring to you. There's so much going on. We're going to have five, and they're all very important. So let's get right to them. In the headlines, Trump's victory throws diplomatic bombshell into Israel's multi-front war. We'll talk about that, what it's going to mean. Insiders say, here we go again, Vladimir Putin conveyed unofficial congratulations to Trump and has certain hopes for the future president. Again, this is going to be huge for last day's Bible prophecy, as we will explain. Donald Trump declares victory and said, God spared my life for a reason. He certainly did, and we're seeing it take place already, some of the results. Ari Fleischer, he's a member of a former administration. He said a life-saving election result for Jews who care about Israel. It certainly was, and it's a life-saving election for the United States of America, too, as we're going to explain, because as people treat Israel, nations, individuals, so God will treat them. And finally, just to get our feet back on the ground, additional squadron of US F-15E fighter jets said to be en route to Israel ahead of the expected Iranian attack. Yes, it's coming, so we need to be very much aware of what's going to take place and keep our eyes on this with all the euphoria and all the stuff going on with the new administration coming into power and blue skies ahead for America. There's going to be some dark things happening too, as we're going to explain. All right, let's look at the headlines. Number one, Trump's victory throws diplomatic bombshell into Israel's multi-front war. The Trump win could push Hamas to prefer a deal under lame duck Joe Biden, believing terms would be better giving Trump's pro-Israel stances. Now, President-elect Trump's comeback victory Tuesday weakens diplomatic efforts to end Israel's multi-front wars in the short term and calls into question U.S. long-term support for Israel's military campaigns against Iraq, Iran, and its proxies. It's the equivalent of a diplomatic bombshell whose chilling effects will be felt almost immediately, which already seem to freeze such ceasefire efforts. Trump's policies on all issues related to Gaza, Lebanon, and Iran will be diametrically different than his predecessor, U.S. lame duck President Joe Biden, and he will chart a new course, and he certainly will. Here's the difference. Trump is a man who says, let's get the job done. He wants the problem for Israel to be settled in the south with Gaza, in the north with Hezbollah, with Iran also, so he can concentrate, America can concentrate on more important global issues, especially China. And so that's why he will do what it takes, help Israel to do what it takes to rid this. And believe me, China knows about this. Iran knows about it. Russia knows about it. And it was funny, the Houthis know about it. There was a story yesterday. As soon as Trump got elected, the Houthis down in Yemen said, okay, we've decided to declare a permanent ceasefire against firing on ships there traveling in this shipping lane because our job is done. I guess they know with Trump coming into the White House, if they tried to do this, they think the firepower was bad before. And so anyway, we're seeing things already happen. He's going to get the job done, whatever it takes, and these people know about it. So there may be some type of agreement or try to get an agreement in the next 2 months before he takes office in these areas with Lebanon, Gaza, and the such like. Now, headline number two, and again, this is huge with last day's Bible prophecy. We had a story yesterday about Russia. Insiders say Putin conveyed unofficial congratulations to Trump and has certain hopes for the future president. This is from a website called Meduza, Meduza. Russia's ruling elites, including Vladimir Putin, have conveyed their congratulations to Donald Trump on his victory in the U.S. presidential election, not through an official call, but through acquaintances, according to high-ranking parliamentary source who spoke to the independent outlet Verstka, I guess I pronounce it. Earlier on Wednesday, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov told journalists that he had no knowledge of any plans by Putin to call Trump to congratulate him, as the U.S. is an unfriendly country. It certainly has been under Joe Biden. Now, according to Versta's source, the list of Russian figures who passed on their private congratulations to Trump is quite impressive and includes the foreign minister Lavrov, Security Council deputy chairman, etc., etc. There's a number, about a half dozen high-ranking officials passed on through these sources congratulations to Trump. A source close to the Kremlin confirmed this to the outlet adding that the messages were relayed through Russia's foreign ministry. The source noted that Russia's top officials have a relationship with the future president that the Kremlin hopes to maintain, as Moscow has certain hopes for Trump. These hopes are primarily focused on reducing assistance to Ukraine during the special military operation, the source explained. And Trump, of course, is far easier to negotiate with and better for us, that is, the Russian authorities, than his opponent now, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. And so they are basically looking forward to talking to Trump because Trump talked about ending the war with Ukraine and Russia. So we'll see what happens there. But they know we have the ability in the United States to get the job done. The powerful country that we are. Remember before when Trump was in office, there was some problems there, not only in North Korea but also with Iran. And in each case, Trump threatened them. He told North Korea. Remember, he brought those ships in. He said, "You stop, testing these long-range missiles that can reach the United States that have a nuclear warhead on it, not a real one, but one with the same size and same weight as if there was a real warhead, which they do have these warheads. They tested and flew some 6,000 miles where it could have reached the East Coast of the United States. And Trump said, you keep doing this, and we'll reduce your island to a cinder. And Little Rocket Man decided to punt. He decided, well, we won't do it anymore because he knew Trump meant business. Same situation with Iran. He threatened them big time, and they backed off knowing that his threats were real. They're not like Joe Biden's threats or other empty threats. When he said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with Russia, because Russia, again, is a main player in last days Bible prophecy. It's not Iran. It's Russia who's going to eventually lead a coalition that will attack Israel in the last days. Iran and Turkey will be surrogates, but they won't be in a leadership position. And again, we've talked about this in great detail in our book, 25 Signs from Near the End, Signs 9 through 11. It's a free download from our website, Educating Our World, under the heading of Bible Prophecy. We have also an entire book on the Ezekiel 38-39 invasion if you want to go into real detail there. Also there under Bible Prophecy, and as always, all our books are free. That's our ministry, so please take advantage of that. Now, the next headline is something that we can appreciate as being true. This Donald Trump declares victory, and he said, God spared my life for a reason. Now, we knew that when that assassination attempt took place in Butler, Pennsylvania, that Donald Trump miraculously survived. Inches, a couple inches over, he would have been killed, or at least maimed or, disabled. Bottom line is, it was miraculous to survive. We knew that God had a plan for him. Now, it seemed that the plan would be his reelection. But again, we've got to be careful of saying, well, we know what the plan is. We don't know what God's plan is, but now we're seeing it come to pass. So when he declared victory early Wednesday morning, after Wisconsin and Pennsylvania put him over the top in the race for the White House, he said, many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason, referring to this attempt to take his life when he had left him bloodied and left one supporter dead and two others injured. And so this is true. He said, this will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have here. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. He said in his speech, we're going to make you very proud of your vote. Now, he's going to need our prayers, especially to put wise people as his advisors. We don't want him to make the same mistake as he admitted he did the last time when he put these people in close to him in positions of power and authority that should not have been there. And so this is something that he's going to need to have wisdom on, and hopefully the wisdom will be much better. So he can do a lot of great things for America. Now, having said this, we have issues that we're going to face. It's not going to be all blue skies. It's not going to be all great for America. Economically, we're going to do very well. We're going to do well militarily when we need to, but there are problems that we have that were not brought in by him, that the last administration brought in, and we're going to talk about that right now. And this is something I really want you to think about and pray about. This is from our Iranian friend Nader. For those of you who are new, we have a lot of new people every day. Nader is a believer in Christ. He is from Iran. He fought with the Mujahideen. His life was endangered. He actually rode a horse outside of Iran to escape. His life was, basically going to end. because of his rebellion against the powers that be, came to America, rejected Islam, became an atheist, and then someone preached the gospel to him. He's a Bible-believing Christian now, and he's doing some tremendous things, which a lot of them we can't talk about, we don't want to talk about because they're sort of under the radar there in the Middle East and elsewhere. Anyway, I asked him his thoughts of what are going on right now with the election. I want to read to you what he said. He said, people do not understand in uppercase letters, that the 12 million free voters that came through the one border so the Democrats could ruin the USA opened the door for more evil, all uppercase. People really thought Iran, who was the Prince of Persia, was going to reach USA via some missiles. Iran knows we have the capabilities. And he goes on to say we have bunker buster bombs that go in 200 meters into rock that can drop from the Hormuz, Straits of Hormuz, and they can glide under the radar and take out all of Iran's middle silos and nuclear facilities. So we can do that. We've got the ability to do that, to kill their nuclear program. He said it's so easy. They went on to talk about those S-300 and 400 surface-to-air missiles that Iran got gifted from Russia. He said they're garbage and gone as of 2 weeks ago. So Iran is blind right now. So they're not a military problem. It's not at all. The U.S. could take them out easily. They knew if Trump wins, Israel would be equipped with stuff. And so they're afraid of that. But here's the issue. And this is he's talked to me about this in some great detail. We've had a number of conversations. I'll just get into the top point of what they are. He's talking about these cells, these terror cells that have the last 4 years with our porous open border in the South have come across the country. He said they are scary, and almost 90% of these cells, their terror cells, are not connected. This makes them very hard, uppercase, to crack. During the open border to bring in blue voters or Democratic voters, the true Trojan horse was and here again, uppercase letters, over freaking, get this, 1,300, 1,300 confirmed cells already set up here in the U.S. Iranian terrorist cells for the last 20 months. 1,300 terrorist cells are here. So Iran, what's going to take place with Israel, with the fighting that's going on, look for their response to be with some of these terror cells. He says, again, which are unconnected to one another, which could be lone wolves. And he said, this is a real problem. He's talked about this to me for the last year or two in particular. And he says these people are crazy. They're there. They believe they have a calling to wreak havoc with the terrorism here. And so if Iran gets taken out to a large degree, like Israel will probably do, he's worried about that coming here in the U.S. So we wanted to make you aware of this. And so Donald Trump will have this to face, terrorism within the country, not so much from Iran militarily. The ICBM is not going to come to the U.S. from Iran. It's not going to get there to Israel. That will be taken care of. But we've got other problems. So we need to pray for him and pray for the country, pray for us for protection there. So that's just something we need to make you aware of. And so it's a difficulty that we're going to be facing in these next 4 years. All right. Ari Fleischer, life-saving election result for Jews who care about Israel. It's from Breitbart. President-elect Donald Trump's victory in the 2024 presidential election was a life-saving victory for Jews who care about Israel, according to former White House press secretary Ari Fleischer. He participated in a press briefing on Wednesday with the Republican Jewish Coalition, a group that has been pivotal for raising funds for Donald Trump and the Republican candidates, and backing pro-Israeli policies within the GOP, and in turning out the Jewish vote. The RJC, citing Fox News exit polls, said Trump won 32% of the Jewish vote, an historically high percentage, greater than any Republican since Ronald Reagan in 1980. He said one exit poll conducted by other networks, which showed Trump's Jewish support at just 21%, had skipped several states with high Jewish populations and therefore had a small sample size. While Jewish voters were driven with many concerns, those who cared about Israel and worried most about anti-Semitism tended to vote Republican. As we mentioned, Israelis favored Trump by large numbers in public polls, like 68, 70% to 19% in the days leading up to the election. And so they knocked on doors. They told people the need for Jewish people to vote for Donald Trump. And it seems they have come out in some record numbers He's also interesting that he attracted Arabs and Muslims as well as Jewish voters because of his record of advancing cause for peace in the Middle East, but by supporting Israel's security, but not by pressuring Israel. And he trounced terrorists among Orthodox Jews who turned out in droves to support the former president. Now, here's why this is important. This is not only good for Israel, it's good for America also. Genesis 12, 1-3 is still in the Bible, where God promised Abram some 4,000 years ago, I'm going to bless those that bless you and your descendants. I'm going to curse those that curse you. And our sign number 2 of our 25 signs, we're near the end. We call it as their enemies have done to Israel, so God will do to them. And we give you 5 illustrations in the Old Testament of countries who attempted to destroy Israel or thwart God's plan with them, who no longer exist because God pronounced judgment on them. And you'll never see an Amalekite, an Amorite, a Moabite, a Philistine, or what's the other one? I'm forgetting, Edomite today, because all of them tried to destroy Israel, tried to thwart the plan of God. God pronounced specific judgment on all these people groups, and they do not exist today as unique people groups because of the judgment pronounced by God. So we've seen this historically too. God will bless those that bless, curse those that curse. So not only did Israel dodge a bullet with the Donald Trump election, so did the United States of America, because what we have done recently, particularly in the last year plus, has been horrific. So, finally, to put things into perspective here, headline number 5, additional squadron of US F-15E fighter jets are en route to Israel ahead of the expected Iran attack. And so basically, as the story goes, it talks about these B-52 Stratofortress bomber aircraft also that showed up, that the U.S. is armed to the teeth here because they're expecting a retaliatory strike from Iran. And remember, what we said is not or told us, Iran has been gifted by Russia some more highly advanced, sophisticated missiles that are more powerful, more precise, and that's what they're going to throw at Israel during this upcoming skirmish. And Israel, of course, is going to hit with its firepower. And as the U.S. told Iran, we can't stop them doing what they want to do. So it's going to be a real mess. And so there could be a regional war hovering over us between Israel and Iran with Iran's proxies. As we have said very clearly, we say it again, this is not a fulfillment of Bible prophecy. Appendix 5 in our book, 25 Signs, we're near the end, asks the question, would a regional war between Iran and Israel fulfill Bible prophecy? And the answer is no. I think we gave at least 10 reasons why it's no. It's not going to be Iran that fulfills the Bible prophecy, but it is setting the stage to set Russia up to be the country that fulfills the leadership there. And that's exactly what we're seeing now, even the beginnings of that. So it's all falling into place. We are not surprised, always amazed by what's going on. So we'll keep you informed here. We'll do it every day. And thank you so much for telling others about this site. We continue to grow, and we continue to thank you for the support you give us and that, because we really believe in these days we need to understand what God's doing, and that everything is literally under his control. We're not ignorant. Daniel 12, 8-10 tells us in the last days the wise will understand what's going on. We certainly understand because the Lord's laid it all out for us in the Bible. And if we take it seriously, we can understand what's taking place. So anyway, that's the latest for the day. We'll keep you posted if anything else happens. I'm Don Stewart again. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, may the Lord richly, richly bless.